Hi, this is Joe Courtney. I'm speaking to you from the Rayburn Building in Washington, D.C. Today is an exciting day for me and I think for the 2nd District of Connecticut. A new higher education reform bill, the College Affordability Act, was introduced again by the new majority in the House of Representatives, which will finally address, I think, one of the biggest bread and butter issues for middle-class Americans that has lingered for far too long, which is namely the high cost of post-secondary education and trying to reform a lot of the programs that come from Washington that, again, I think will make college and secondary, post-secondary education more debt-free, which again is something that I hear across the board, regardless of party or region in Eastern Connecticut. Again, we are a higher education rich part of the state of Connecticut. The University of Connecticut, the flagship public university, Eastern Connecticut State Universities, actually 4 or 5 community colleges that serve the 2nd Congressional District, Conn College, Mitchell College, also the Coast Guard Academy. And again, that is consistent with what I think is important to Connecticut's economy and its future, which is investing in people, because that's how our state succeeds. So what this bill will do, again, is address a lot of issues, particularly the high cost of borrowing and debt financing that is required to attend college, and that still is an overhang for people who've graduated from college. We clarify and reform a lot of the loan forgiveness programs for people in public service sector jobs, expand the definition to include farmers, which is a critical part of our workforce that, again, is shrinking, particularly at younger age groups. We deal with basically restarting the Pell Grant program, which has been frozen for far too long, and again, expanding the use of Pell Grants, not just for higher education, but also for certificate programs. Again, as our workforce needs are now in so many different areas, whether it's healthcare, manufacturing, cyber security, information technology, there are programs that people can connect to job openings that exist right now in our economy, and we need to expand the definition of Pell so it helps people have a pathway to secure that type of economic security. We reform a number of programs that have, in my opinion, ripped off veterans. Again, the definition of for-profit colleges has to be tightened up so that some of these institutions that have really exploited the GI Bill can no longer use that as a cash cow. In fact, they're going to be held to a much higher standard of accountability in terms of delivering degrees that have real value in the economy, as opposed to some of the junk degrees that we know exists throughout that whole sector. Again, our committee, which is the Education Committee that I've sat on since my early days in Congress, and my subcommittee, which is the Higher Education Subcommittee, will be the place where this whole process is going to start. This country really, really needs this legislation because, again, it will provide a pathway for stronger economic security, to make sure that people have the skills they need for the 21st century, and make sure that economies like Connecticut, which have many job openings, but still has a skills gap that has to be closed, that the higher education pathway can help accomplish. The College Affordability Act, which we're, again, beginning today with its introduction, is the opportunity for this country to address this critical issue. I am very excited about having the opportunity to be directly involved with that whole process. I encourage people to contact my office if they want more information about the College Affordability Act, and I look forward to having a dialogue, which I will do both here in Washington to folks back home, but also in the district, because again, we have such higher education, post-secondary education presence in a special part of Connecticut and a special part of our nation. So thank you for listening, and as I said, we welcome your input. Feel free to contact our office if you want to follow up some more about, again, an issue that I think is just across the board, something that people have been really looking for action, and the new majority is now delivering it. Thank you very much.